He's not looking like the Deshaun Watson prior to COVID, prior to the massage parlor.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Let me take away with
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Cole, DC, UPenn's finest, and Chris Culture, CB Culture Boy. We have another great episode for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the AFC North, the quote-unquote hood of the NFL, home of NFL Youngboy, home of Big Truz, home of Massage Man, and many more. But
Massage Man.
And then we're also
GP don't go by Young Boy no more. He's GP.
He GP. So also we all put together a top 10 quarterback list and we plugged it into ChatGPT to give us a consensus quarterback ranking between our three feelings. Now we would just ask ChatGPT who the top 10 QBs in the league are, but according to Danny, they only have information up to 2021. So I do not want to see Tom Brady on my top 10 quarterback list. He's not playing no more. So we'll be doing that. And then me and Chris and Danny, we're going to be rounding out the episode talking about FIBA World Cup because there's a certain NBA, I want to say legend, but a certain former NBA player doesn't know the difference between FIBA World Cup and Olympics. And we're also just going to be talking about the guys on the team. But
this legend might have been bringing guns into the locker room.
Yeah, like Jason or like Ludacris once said, Gilbert Arenas, guns on deck. But we can get right into summits and plummets. I want to go first. It's raining like crazy outside. We're on a tornado watch. And the Phillies game got canceled. So that's a big bummer.
That's a tragedy. They should be playing in this weather.
Yeah. What happened to the game I love? No. What a bunch of sissies.
The Eagles would play. The Eagles would certainly be playing in this weather. What are these baseball players complaining about?
Yeah. Oh my God. Just get a turf field. You'll be okay. But that actually leads into my summit. It is Jalen Hurts' birthday. At the young age of 25 years old, my quarterback is a Pro Bowler, All-Pro, made it to the Super Bowl, played damn good in that Super Bowl, and I'm happy that is my quarterback for the future. Also, if y'all hear
my quarterback entered his second season in the NFL.
Yes, and your quarterback is very old. But I just want to
same age. They're both 25.
I want to give a quick disclaimer. If you hear rain in the background, it is obviously raining outside. And if you hear any thumping around, I got Bentley in the room with me. His sisters are currently out right now, so there ain't much for him to do except chill. So, yeah. But if one of you guys want to take it away with a summit and plummet, I'm giving up the mic for the foreseeable future.
Before we go forward, we're going to have we'll call it sideline questions. Fans, should Tony get a haircut?
Come on. No, don't do this. Don't do this. You know, I'm very passionate about my hair. I know when it's time. Why are y'all serious, man? I can just put a hat on if you're not feeling it. If you're not feeling me, man.
I like it.
I think it's great.
I appreciate y'all very much. There be haters out there, bro. Like, look, it's so versatile, man. I could do whatever I want with it. But if you just want me to wear a hat, I'll wear a hat, man. Ain't no big deal. I just thought my curls were looking good today. Come on, man. Come on, fam.
I think they're looking tough. I like them.
Come on.
W hair.
You feeling like Garrett Wilson or something?
No, I feel like Goldilocks.
Paul Goldschmidt locks. Never mind.
feel like George Washington. You feel?
Honestly.
Come on, man.
Oh! I'll go.
I'm gonna go. You can go.
Rock, paper, scissors. I lost.
All right, so Danny, go.
So my summit goes to the Blue Jays rookie. Whoa, not that.
That's big plummet.
That was talking about how hot he's been recently. He's the first person ever to start his career with 9 hits in 3 games. I think 2 or 3 of them were homers. This kid is on fire. And shout out to the guy on some of my TikTok comments. He commented, "I went to high school with him."
Oh, nice. Shout out to him.
I saw it. I was he's some random dude named Davis. He's like, "I went to high school with him." I was like, "Wow."
Davis is
Nice.
a very cool guy.
Right. Shout out Davis.
MLB history, making Ellie De La Cruz look bad.
Oh my god.
That is putting his debut to shame is like
Crazy.
you're that
His
guy.
debut was nice.
You're that guy.
Oh man. Oh well, I'll give my plummet, and it's a plummet. You know, I was geared up to watch Liberty Aces the other day, and the Aces actually played blindfolded, and I was just blown away. It's no way the Aces played that bad yesterday. Now, I do give a disclaimer: Candace Parker is hurt. She is hurt. She's dealing with a foot injury. I think she may be out for the year. She may be out for the whole season. Unfortunately, she may be. But for them to lose by 36 points, I want to say it was an absolute bloodbath. They got beat on. So that's my plummet, because I was not expecting to see that. I was expecting to see some good basketball, basketball, and I actually seen only good basketball from one side of my TV screen, and there's supposed to be like the two giants going up against each other. So that was unfortunate.
It's a great week. I'm double summiting. We are officially, it's a great transition to 4 weeks away, 4 Thursdays away from the NFL kicking off. Phenomenal day, man.
That is true.
Yeah, we got 3 more divisions. And before we get into the Bengals, pause. Whoa. I wanted to make a comment on that Liberty Aces game. Unfortunately, I have a Summit and Plummet in that game. My one wife, Kelsey Plum, played really bad, but my other wife, Sabrina, played really
phenomenal.
well.
Yep.
So, what did
I'm leaving here with some.
Yep. Yeah.
I knew exactly what you meant. I'm leaving here with some.
I'm leaving here with some. But yeah, we can get kick started with the Cincinnati
Summit before.
Bengals. Did you?
I
Hold up.
I
What
want
is
to
running back? Yeah, just
Just
go with the Summit.
one
Yeah, I
comment.
forgot.
And it leads into football too. I've been so happy the last couple of weeks being on Twitter and seeing the Cowboys disrespect Dak Prescott, because it means I'm not alone in my disrespect to Dak Prescott. I'm so proud. What's it? Not Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
That's my guy. He's my favorite player now, because he
Yeah,
told Dak
telling you.
exactly what I want to tell him. Thank you, Trayvon, for reading my mind and going out there and telling Dak that.
See,
Sorry.
like I get that's one thing. People are like, oh, it's football. Like they go talk trash like that. Yo, I'll be damned if
AJ saying that to
anybody
Jalen
said
Hurts.
that. Nobody's saying that to Jalen Hurts. They're not saying that to Mahomes. They're
They're not
not saying that. I mean, you could try Joe Burrow if you want. Y'all know what he's about. I dare you to try that to 6'5", 200-some Josh Allen. I
wish.
dare you.
But
But
you saw Josh Allen smack the D lineman in his head.
Sure did.
Josh Allen's about it, bro. But okay, now we're
I'll go ahead,
actually no, you're good. I completely skipped the Summit. That's not very positive. But now we're gonna go to the Bengals. The Bengals line is 11.5 wins. I'm gonna kick it to Danny first, because I know Danny thinks of the Bengals a little differently. I think he thinks a little more highly of the Ravens, lower than Bengals. So I'm gonna let Danny kick it off about the Bengals.
That's my guy.
Yeah, I think 11.5 is a proper set line for the Bengals. Coming off a very hot season and where they won 12 or 13 games. I don't know how they counted that one game with the hit. Would they win 12 games or 13?
They hit 12 because the only 13-win team was the Chiefs.
Yeah, exactly. So they won 12 games, so they would hit the over if this is their line for last year. I think they're coming into a very similar situation where their team's on fire, except they decided to not pay their best 2 players in the secondary.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates and Von Bell. They are 2 very important pieces of their team. The Eagles might have let C.J. Gardner-Johnson walk. They didn't let C.J. and another safety and a corner walk. The Bengals might have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd still, but that's going to soon come to an end because you can't pay Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and you can't do it. So I think the Bengals, this is kind of like their last year for a push, but I think they get 11 wins because the division is so toxic.
So you're saying 11 wins for the Bengals?
I think they hit the under. Listen to these teams on the schedule. Chiefs, Vikings. This is outside the division. Chiefs, Vikings, Jags, Bills, Niners, Seahawks. I think the Rams can give them a run for their money in a Super Bowl rematch. Like those teams alone.
Whoa. You said the Rams could give them a run for their money. You're lying. You're lying to yourself.
Sean
McVay
will outcoach his little coaching disciple, Zach Taylor.
Okay. Yeah, there's a thing that talent. There's the talent gap on those two teams. It's a little too much for that little coaching thing.
But like they couldn't guard Cooper Kupp by himself.
And you are talking about that team 2 years ago. That team had Allen Robinson, or no, they didn't have Allen Robinson. They had Odell Beckham Jr. They had Van Jefferson. They had capable running backs, a bevy of them. You had Matt Stafford before a shoulder injury. Why are we even talking about the Rams? Why are we talking about this? All those other games you mentioned are still toss-ups anyway.
Yeah, I think
they could have the number one offense in the league. Crazy.
And they could have
saying the Rams will give them a run for the money is crazy.
They could do all of that and have like the 22nd ranked defense because their defense is not impressive.
So what? They can shoot it out with any team in this league. They've shown they can.
They can.
They've beat every team in this league in a shootout. Quite frankly,
yeah. Joe Mixon's beat every woman in the league too. He's gonna be out the league.
That is unreal. That is such an unreal thing to say. Chris, what are the thoughts on the Bengals? I'm sick of this dude.
Honestly, I don't know. I've been up in the air on them. I think it just really depends on Joe Burrow, honestly, because as Danny said, I don't think their defense is crazy by any means. But I mean, you got to stop somebody at some point, unless you can just score and everybody, which the Bengals can. So I think it's really a toss up. I think 11 to 13 wins is going to be where they're around, just because I mean, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, freaking Boyd, Higgins, they have so many weapons, and I think weapons win the NFL at the end of the day, especially if they can all stay healthy. So I love to see it. I just hope they lose to the Ravens every time they play them. But outside of that, I think they can go. Yeah, I'll take the over. Just because if healthy, I'll take the over on the Bengals. I think the over.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree there. I mean, I do have them slotted for 12 wins. I'm going 12-5. Like Danny's not wrong. Like that's one thing. I do disagree with the Rams thing, but I don't like. He is right. That defense had its fair share of losses this offseason. However, this is still one of the most highly powered offenses in the league and can go tick for tack with anybody. Their defense, like Chris said, eventually you got to get a stop. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Zach Taylor can make the growth as a head coach to elevate this subpar level of talent on this defense. It's going to be interesting. Zach Taylor, it's kind of up in the air. I feel like a lot of people, you either really don't like him or you got the trust in him. I personally have the trust in him to you got to coach something. Like you actually got to elevate your coaching to help this defense out. The offense don't need it. Offense, that's a Pro Bowl offense. I have him slotted at 12 wins. I don't think Danny's crazy for 11 wins, like by any means necessary. That's legit. One game where T. Higgins not healthy, or it's a one game suspension for Joe Mixon for unlisted reasons, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I'm gonna go.
I have a funny picture.
Go ahead.
I was at the Steelers game, Steelers-Bengals last year. It said, "Hey Mixon, we punch back."
No, it's actually crazy. And speaking of punching women, we're gonna move on to the Baltimore Ravens, who used to employ Ray Rice. So yes, again, hood of the NFC North, of the NFL is no joke. I'm gonna start with Chris here. Chris is a big Ravens guy. Their line is set to 10.5 wins. Chris, what are you thinking? OBJ, one of your favorite players ever, coming to Baltimore, 8-ball, one of your favorite quarterbacks in the league, if not your favorite. What are we thinking, Chris?
Get your pens out. About to get some hot takes. but this is real though. Like this is even coming from a fan perspective. I think they'll pass this. I think they'll get 12 wins. That's my prediction for the Ravens. I think they'll get 12 wins. I've seen 8-ball go get 10, 11 wins with an offense that probably shouldn't be past high school. So with them having actual weapons this year, I do have big expectations for this team. Are they a little high as a fan? Yeah, but just coming from a reality standpoint, I think they'll be really good. I think Kyle Hamilton's going to take a step this year. I really like Kyle Hamilton.
Dude, he's
really,
a baller.
really
Me and
Kyle
Tone loved him during the
Yeah, I
draft
love Kyle
process.
Hamilton. He was the one when we got him. I was like, him patrolling back there with Marlon on the sidelines is going to be difficult. And I think he takes a step. I love Roquan Smith for the Ravens. He just brings that.
Hey, I'm so mad at him, dude. Every time he plays the Steelers, he got like 15 tackles and an interception.
Because it matters. It matters playing y'all. It matters. and I think for that, like on top of what Danny said, I think Roquan, Mark Andrews, I think those guys like are going to help this team on both sides of the ball be able to know like this is a championship type of year. Like 8 got his money. No more of that talk. It's all out the way. Got weapons. I think Zay Flowers looked really good in training camp this year. He looked really, really good. I mean, Bateman's always looked good in training camp, but just health's going to be a factor. But I think this team defense is still pretty good. I think the offense is very much improved. Got a new offensive coordinator, which I've been praying for. So thank you. I think that he's going to open up the offense a little more for 8 and the weapons. So I can see, and this is my real prediction. I really think the Ravens are going to make the Super Bowl this year. Like not even the hot take. I really think they are going to make, or at least make the championship, the title championship game. I really do think so. So yeah, I think they get 12 wins.
That's phenomenal. Crazy thing. Mark Andrews dates a girl in college.
I did not know.
Whoa.
I what? Know
Mark Andrews dates some girl who's famous on TikTok in college.
Really?
My girlfriend told me this. It's insane.
I had no clue.
Yeah, she's like
weirdo now?
No, he's like 28, 27 years old, dude. Like I don't. It's really, really crazy.
Hopefully she's a senior. She's 24.
Six-year senior.
I think she's 21. I think she's 21.
Okay,
Danny. So what do you think about the Ravens over under?
Yeah. Well, let's talk more about this Ravens team, not named Mark Andrews.
Yeah, so Mark Andrews is getting a little crazy recently, but I've hated the Ravens for a long time, dude. But one person I don't hate is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, I so much enjoy watching him. As a Steelers fan, he's actually struggled against us, and I hate seeing that because like. We just throw defense at him, and he's just like don't know what to do because the receivers don't get open.
TJ Watt's an unreal person, by the way.
He's so unreal. He's so fake. But so we do that, and they don't know what to do. So Lamar, he's phenomenal. I see Lamar having a MVP caliber season again, bouncing back if he's healthy. This dude is a top 5 quarterback in the league when he's healthy. The problem is when he's healthy, one of the best things to have is availability. He's kind of struggled with that the last few years because his play callers, let's just say, has 2 brain cells.
Him and Matt Canada share one
him and Matt
cell.
Canada, they combine for about 2 chromosomes.
No, I definitely agree with both of you guys. I think this Ravens team could very well. I think they're also slotted for 12 wins. I think they're going to have the tiebreaker, though. I think they're going to win the division up to week 12 or whatever it was. Go ahead.
I'm telling you this, though. The thing about the Ravens, they play the Pittsburgh Steelers week 18 in Baltimore. That game will decide the division one way or another.
Let's write that down. That's going to be a hot take to the public. I sort of see your vision, but
Danny's not wrong. I see where you're going from. I see where you're coming from.
Even if it's not Steelers versus Ravens for the division, I think the Ravens must win that game to win the division.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's where you're going from too. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'll say. All right, yeah.
Me personally, I think that game's going to be for the division, like Steelers versus Ravens. But don't be surprised if it's not.
All right, well, we'll get to the Steelers in one moment because I also am excited to talk about them. But I'm also excited to talk about the Ravens because they signed Odell Beckham Jr., who, when we last saw him, was going to win Super Bowl MVP. Now, is he going to be that healthy? No, his knees are essentially held together by like Neosporin and super glue. So it'll be tough to tell. But yes, Ravens I have them over 10.5 wins. I have them slotted for 12 wins. I think they're going to win the division. Think about this. They were 9-4 before Lamar went down. They were winning this division. They finished like 10-7. They got one extra win and barely got into the playoffs. Then they barely lose the wild card game with Tyler Huntley at quarterback, which, by the way, Tyler Huntley is not the worst thing ever. But it's like he's like pseudo Lamar. Like Lamar has to be this for this offense to work. If it's anything less, like Tyler Huntley's cool, but if he's anything less, it's not going to work out. So Lamar stays healthy, 12-win team. I agree with Chris. AFC Championship game. It should be that. That's where they should get. If they're healthy, they have to get there. I have a couple other contenders in the AFC, but I think they can do it. That is their potential in my eyes. But we're going to move on to Danny's Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I let Chris start out with the Ravens. I'm going to let Danny start off with his Steelers.
Do a little introduction. You see, play
An
Renegade.
intro?
Right? You could play Renegade for me right now.
What is this? A YouTube? Is this a Nick A30 YouTube intro?
Yeah. So my Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm gonna do this as unbiased as I can. We added positions that we lacked and positions that we really have struggled with for some years. Our corner group was kind of sorry. We said, let's get Joey Porter and Corey Trice. Corey Trice tore his ACL or his Achilles. I forget what it was. He's out for the year. Unfortunate. He would have probably started in the slot. Phenomenal big body receiver, a corner. Calvin Austin, one of my favorite wide receivers that we have, is finally showing some wide receiver depth. He's got some big play ability to stretch, kind of play that same role that Zay Flowers is going to do for the Ravens. Stretch the field, make big plays, splash plays, run those jet sweeps, all of that. You already got George Pickens and Deontay Johnson, Pat Fryermuth, adding Darnell Washington. You have dogs all over the field. And Kenny Pickett had the highest QBR when targeting George Pickens in the NFL out of any other quarterback targeting any receiver. If that doesn't say a lot, target that guy more, dude. Target that guy 10, 15 times a game and let him just go over top of corners because he makes them look like his kids. And on the defensive line, you just said, dude, TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, and Alex Highsmith are enough. But then they said, let's go add Nick Herbig's brother, Nate.
Yeah.
This team has depth. Oh, and you know what I didn't mention? Micah Fitzpatrick. And the 3 linebackers they signed in the offseason, Landon Roberts, Cole Holcomb, and Quan Alexander. This team is AFC North energy written all over it. Don't play around.
My only thing with the Steelers, every single year, I'm like, the Steelers are going to be mediocre. Danny talks me into them being a 10-plus win team, and I'm like, I see the vision, and then they get off to a horrible start. Here is the difference for them this year. I'm going to go over I never even changed it. I have the time marked, so just follow the chapters in the description when you want to get to the Steelers. But I have them getting over that measly 8.5 line. First of all, Tomlin's not falling short of 9 wins. Second of all, if this team... Oh, y'all both told me to change it. My bad. But anyway, so I have them getting over that measly 8.5 line. Tomlin's going to get them 9 wins. The difference with this team is that Kenny Pickett has figured it out. After that bye week, he figured it out. He knew everything seemed to have slowed down for him. Kenny Pickett's not going to go out there and throw, or at least last year, he wasn't going out there and throwing 300 yards because he wasn't getting the attempts. So, but this year, like Danny mentioned, you have all these weapons everywhere. You have another year of experience, and hopefully Matt Canada can put more trust in these weapons instead of running end arounds to win the game against the Raiders, which worked, but that's probably the best thing you could have all year.
That's not why they ran end arounds. They ran end around because it was -2 degrees on Christmas.
He still threw. Kenny Pickett still threw that game winner to George Pickens, and he hit his little ski max, which is one of my favorite celebrations in the NFL. But yeah, I have them over that 8.5 mark so easily. I think this is a 10-win team, 10, maybe 11-win team. And something we were talking about last week where we're like, oh, the Lions finished off the year hot and started the year bad, but now they're getting hyped going into next year, and the Steelers aren't getting any. I think the Steelers have a higher ceiling than the Lions. And not even for this year, for the future, because Kenny Pickett, their two most important players are young. Pickens, they got something good going on over there. Calvin Austin, like Danny said, is a weapon and is not known by a lot of NFL fans, but you will get to know him. Darnell Washington, he is very raw as a pass catcher.
Darnell is a freak. He is
exactly.
a freak.
Exactly. So me and Danny obviously have the over, but I'm going to swing it to Chris. Chris, Danny had nice things to say about the Ravens, so you have to say something nice about the Steelers.
7-12 wins for the Steelers.
Crazy part, I'm supposed to be a Steelers hater because I like the Ravens. I really like the Steelers. I'm sorry, y'all Ravens fans who hear me saying that. I really do. I like because I was a Troy Polamalu fan a long time ago. Long story. But I was a real Troy Polamalu fan for a long time ago. And but this is the thing. I think I'll just round it out because you guys both kind of said what I was thinking. To end it all, the Steelers have some athletes over there right now on both sides of the ball. And I think Pickens is going to be special. Very, very, very special. Very special. The same type of special that Garrett Wilson and all those other guys, I think he's going to be like top tier in that line of receivers. He's special. And TJ Watt, like I said, unreal person. His speed turns to 99 every time he plays the Ravens, and it loses me. I've never seen somebody chase Lamar Jackson like that. Never. So with people like that on both sides of the ball, and Mike Tomlin is one of the best coaches I think in NFL history. That might be a stretch, but I think he doesn't lose.
Oh, absolutely.
He doesn't I think Tony said he's going to get 8 to 9 wins every season, no matter what roster he has out there. And I think that means and stands for something. Like I think he gets the love that Doc Rivers he doesn't get the love that Doc Rivers gets for like being mediocre in real life. Like Mike Tomlin's actually a really, really good coach whenever, and you gave him now the athletes to play faster, to be more aggressive, and to do all those things that Mike Tomlin's shown he's been really, really good at in the past. I think this team easily gets 10 wins. Easy. That's my opinion. I think they easily get 10 wins. I think they fight. They're in this division. They're in this. They're going to be in it. I think they're going to be around. Like I said, the additions from the offseason made them that much better, and they didn't get the love that they should have got. Like I said, they had some bad turns in the season, but everybody has, and I think they have gotten looked over. And I think their additions have gotten looked over too. So I think the Steelers will be pretty good this year. So I think 8.5 wins easy. Over.
If the Steelers win a playoff game, I will be a happy man, dude. They haven't won a playoff game in like 10 years.
Hey, but has it been that long? No, it hasn't.
It doesn't feel that long though.
I think it's been 8 years.
Whoa, that's pretty rough.
2015, I believe. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, that is crazy. But yeah, we're all so just quick update for everybody. We have one under, and it is Danny on the Bengals, and he has them missing out by half a win. That is how good this division is. Now we are going to
this shifts very quickly right here.
Now this team isn't bad by any means. The Cleveland Browns, their line is 9.5 wins. I don't think it should be higher than the Steelers. Now I'm going to take the mic on this one. I have them under with like 8 wins. Now, Deshaun Watson, I said this sometime earlier in the offseason. To me personally, he's got 6 weeks to figure it out. Like, I don't know. Russ does exist, but like, let's not act like this dude isn't practicing every single day. He's still throwing the ball. He's still reading defenses. And last year and this year in camp, he's just looked average. He's making dumb plays, and he's not looking like the Deshaun Watson prior to COVID, prior to the massage parlor. So I personally don't think he's getting back to that level. And unfortunately, like, it's so unfortunate. I think y'all could both agree with me. The Browns have one of their better rosters in recent history. Like, this could last 2.5 years. This is like some of the best Browns rosters we've seen in a while, but you finally got the quarterback that you think is going to back up the play, and he doesn't do it. I got him under, but I do think this is a very good roster. I love Nick Chubb. I think that defense is going to be top half the league, maybe top 10. I really like what they got going on there. Myles Garrett, perennial defensive player of the year candidate. He's going to be like the D Wade when it's all said and done. There was just always someone who just had a slightly better year. But I got him as under. I'm going to go to Chris first, and then Danny. Chris, what are we thinking about the Browns this year? The good old Browns.
Well, let me start with this small story real quick. It's gonna be 2 seconds. I met Miles Garrett randomly 2 years ago when I worked at this continuing care network. His grandma was in the facility, and she was turning 102 years old. He came and like threw a party. Miles Garrett's a really, really nice guy in real life. So I wanted to preface that by saying I think the Browns are going to stink because I think that Deshaun Watson's going to stink again, and it's not because of all the weirdo stuff. That's off the field. On the field is where you have to play it. I get that, but what Tone said, he hasn't looked the same that he did when he was on the Texans and when he was looking like a special quarterback. He doesn't look like that. He looks slightly above average, in my opinion. And with the weapons they have, you have to be able to get them the ball. That's been my theme this whole every time we talk about divisions, talk about teams. You have to be able to get your weapons the ball. You have to. And if Deshaun Watson can stand in the pocket and make plays and run around and do what he did in Houston, this team will easily win 11 games. But I personally don't see that. So I think this team will be around 8 or 9 wins. I wouldn't take the over at 10, but I'd give them 9 max. I think they have a really, really good team. But it's all going to ride on what Deshaun Watson does. Now, if he comes out and is halfway special, this team is going to hit this over.
We're talking right about a team here. But
if he comes out and was what he looked like he's going to be, if he looks average, they're going to win 7 games, and then they're going to look for a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Danny, would you any word on the nail to the Steelers hammer?
So I think the Browns are a physical team. I'm so close to putting them at 10 wins, but I'm so close to putting them at 9 wins. I really don't even know, dude. This is such a perfectly set line.
I agree.
But I'm going, because of their potential, I'm going the over at 10 wins. I've been debating this the whole entire video, honestly. I was so undecided. But their potential is to win 13 games if Deshaun Watson is back to his elite level of play. But I don't see him doing that. I think their roster outside of Watson is still good enough to win 9 to 10 games.
Yeah, and like we all said, like me and Chris have them at like 8 to 9 wins, but there's a case for 10. There's a case for them to it really depends what Watson is going to do, but yeah, that freakazoid, it's I don't know. He hasn't been the same, and I'm glad we all kind of just see eye to eye on that. It's a perfectly set line. I think all of these lines are really good. Besides the Steelers, I think the Steelers deserve at least the same line as the Browns, 9.5 wins. So maybe they were a little easier to go over, but dude, I really like all of these lines, and I actually really like the Browns one. I've never wanted to see like a team like thrive, but like their quarterbacks stink at the same time. The reason why he does stink is because the man above is he's good and he's great. He knows when someone needs divine punishment, and but I mean, yeah, the Browns making or breaking the playoffs is really kind of all about if Deshaun Watson is really back. So now we are going to head on over to the AI quarterback list, and again, we plugged all of our top 10 quarterbacks into ChatGPT, and they gave us a consensus list based on our personal rankings. And because again, if we asked them what their top 10 QBs were, they would give us old information. It's no good. So I'm going to start with our honorable mentions. Honorable mentions go to Geno Smith, who they said was only mentioned once and shared the spot. That means one of us had him as tied for the 10th best quarterback. Kyler Murray included once on a list, and Justin Fields was included once on a list. So those were the honorable mentions. Now, we're going to start at the top because I think we can kind of run through this pretty fast. Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, constantly ranked first in all lists. So that would tell us all he was number 1 on all our lists. If he's not one on your list, if you're listening to this at home and someone else is number 1 on your quarterback list, find a different sport to analyze. Number 2, Josh Allen, generally ranked high in all lists. This would probably mean we all had him in bare minimum the top 4. I'm pretty sure I might have had him at 4, which is kind of crazy now that I'm looking back on it. But yes. So are we all good with Josh Allen, QB2?
Yeah, I know I was muted. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I saw all the thumbs up. Joe Burrow at 3 appeared high in 2 lists. That means one of us had him outside the top 5. And I believe that was Chris's list, actually, who had Joe Burrow at 6. If you mind explaining that one, which I personally, I know what you were thinking, but I just want to hear it for myself.
And it's crazy. I'm not a Joe Burrow hater. I really like Joe Burrow. I love Joe Cole. I think he's really, really good. But the reason I had him at 6, I think he's elite pocket passer, and he can make plays when he needs to. But in my opinion, for the NFL today, with all the speed receivers you have, all the speed DBs, and even the linemen being fast and linebackers being fast, I think it just serves you more if you can move and make plays out of pocket more comfortably, or just more often, where you can run a speed option, you can run RPOs, you can do those type of things. I just think it makes you a little more dangerous. I think Burrow's top 3 passer, just period, in the NFL. I really do think that. But as far as just, I think now having a dual threat quarterback, because the first 2, Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, are that. So it's like, that's kind of why I had him at 6. But it's no real hate to Joe Burrow, and I have no problem with him being QB3 for real. So it's all good with me.
See, that is exactly what I was thinking when I saw your list. I was just like, okay, he's probably going off dynamics.
Yeah.
But again, I think 3 is a good spot for Burrow personally, because he is so good at what he does. He's so efficient as a passer that I'm completely fine with him at 3. Danny, I'll assume you're fine with him at 3 as well, according to artificial intelligence. I think you might be on mute, Danny. Check your mic.
Yeah, I said I'm fine with him at 2, dude.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, look, so at number 4 is Justin Herbert, ranked highly in 2 lists, lower in 1. That lower in 1 is not mine. I had him at 2. So, do y'all know where y'all had Justin Herbert at?
I am at 4, I believe.
Chris,
It might have been me.
Yeah.
It might have been me.
Do you know where you had him?
I'm about to go check again. I literally remember just texting it. Hold on.
Danny, where did you have him at?
4 or 5.
Oh no, JK, I had Herbert at 3.
I had him at 2. Then if Danny, where'd you have him?
4 or 5, I forget. I have a 5. A-Rod was 4.
Yeah, we probably would have had Herbert at like 3 consensusly. Danny, but 5 is so low according to Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
I think Herbert at 4 is perfectly fine.
According to Andre Iguodala.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Oh man, according to the 2001 NBA MVP.
Ooh.
So going to number 5, Jalen Hurts, consistent middle of the pack ranking. I think Jalen Hurts is at 5. I put him at 5 myself.
He was 5 on mine too.
If he was 5 on yours, Danny, I don't know where you had Jalen, but I wouldn't doubt you had him at like 6 if Herbert was 5 for you. So It seems like we're good. It seems like they're good. Our list together combined is good through 5. Number 6 is Lamar Jackson, consistently in middle to lower ends in all lists. I had him at 6. If he's 5, like I think Chris might have had him flip-flopped. I think Chris might have had Lamar at 5, Hurts at 6, but like
no, I had Lamar at 4, Hurts at 5. And
because we brought Burrow all the way down. Yeah, but like Lamar and Jalen, potato, like pick what you want. I think they're both super exceptional, very fine choices for quarterback, and like that mid-tier range, at least within the top 10.
Hey, Tony, you want to know something crazy? I think the biggest difference between Hurts and Jackson is, and this is smaller, but I think Fields. I think Hurts is more of like a power running quarterback for the most part. Like Lamar's gonna try to get outside and use the speed. Jalen Hurts can use the speed as well, but Jalen Hurts runs through people a little more than Lamar does. Like Lamar tries to run around, so I think that would be the only little difference. And like I said, I think those two are like neck and neck. If you have one at 9, you have the other at 10, or vice versa. I think they're literally like the two, like that should be like right by each other. Like kind of like Mahomes and Allen. Like Mahomes is 1, and then you have Allen 2-ish, and it's like probably like a big gap, but it's still 1 and 2. I think it should be like that for those two. Either one you have first.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So moving on, we have Trevor Lawrence at 7, consistently towards the lower end of all lists, which I agree. This list is honestly really good to me so
I had
far. I don't
seven,
know
I
where
had seven ahead.
I think Danny. I don't know where Danny had Lawrence. I think around 8. Yeah, 8. I'd have it
That's not
7.
right.
Sorry. Give me one. Bentley's being crazy.
No, we're good. Like, I think
he just
Lawrence at 8 makes perfect sense. 7, 8.
yeah.
Can't really go wrong in that range. It's fine.
That's a good range for him. And then number 8, we have Aaron Rodgers, high ranked on one list.
We have Kenny Pickett.
No, we do not. Aaron Rodgers ranked high in one list, but much lower on the other two. I had Rodgers at 8. That's exactly where I had him. I had him right behind Lawrence. Danny put Rodgers really high, which that's what startled me about Danny's list.
I'm startled.
It startled me. It startled me. It had me flabbergasted, just like you putting Fields at 10.
Yeah, I know that was wild. I know that was wild.
Yeah, but I mean, Rodgers at 8. I have no complaints. I mean, Danny had him ranked a little higher, but I think at this point we've all had one player bump back a little more than they should have. I thought Herbert should have been 2 spots higher. Danny thinks Rodgers should have been 4 spots higher.
I still got faith in Mr. Antivax, Mr. Ayahuasca.
Yeah, I think if Aaron Rodgers can find just a puddle of youth, not even a fountain, he needs a puddle of it with Garrett
a raindrop.
Literally, if he finds a little bit, he'll have a 3,800-yard season with 35 touchdowns. Like if he finds a little bit of it, so I think I see your vision, Danny. I see you.
So number 9, we had Tua Tagovailoa, appears twice but lower ranked. I believe I put him at 9. I think Danny might have put him at 9 or 10.
I had him at like 14.
Oh, I could see it, but Tua's my boy. So
what to give my reason? Only reason why.
Go ahead.
Only reason I gave Tua that low is just I don't know. Concussions and stuff aside, I think he looked pretty good with the weapons he had. But I think the Dolphins had like elite style passing weapons last year, like Gesicki, Waddle, Tyreek Hill. Like I think they had like elite stuff. So I think you could have put Dak Prescott in the offense. He might look like an actual quarterback for once. I don't know, but I think that's kind of why I hated on Tua a little bit. But I'm cool with being in the top 10. Like I said, even still battling through what he battled through and still being able to come out there and compete and play well. I think he deserves that top 10. So sorry for hating.
Tua is top 10. Phenomenal.
Yeah, sorry for hating Tua.
He been great.
And he had him in the. Oh, Chris is not going to like this last one. Number 10, Dak Prescott. Included twice, but lower ranked. I put Dak at 10. One of the only Eagles fans who actually enjoy Dak Prescott. No, I mean, maybe I'm a little biased. Football aside, one of the best dudes in the NFL. Just one Walter Payton Man of the Year. I like how open he is about mental health. I like his action against suicide awareness. But as for what he actually does on the football field, God damn it, if he could play every game how he plays against the NFC East, this would be like he could be higher, but he's not.
Nah, dude. If he played every game like he did against the Falcons, he'd be an MVP.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh my God. Yeah, and half the reason I was hating on Dak is because I do live in Dallas now, and I get my haircut at a very Dallas-centric barbershop. And you would think Dak Prescott was Troy Aikman all over again, the way they talk about this dude. So it was a little bit of hate fueled on my list. It was a little bit of hate fueled, but yeah, it was some hate. I'll keep it there.
So overall, I think we like our list. Will we all say they did a good job? Us together, we don't know much, but together we are strong. But moving on to our very last topic, which is the FIBA World Cup. Just real quick, a lot of people don't know the difference between the FIBA World Cup and the Olympics, like Gilbert Arenas, who said, like, oh, this roster is sorry. Like, what has USA basketball come to? And it's always been like that. Nene or Kenneth Fareed was suiting up for a World Cup. So, like, yeah, it's not that deep. But one thing that I wanted to point out about this team is kind of more towards the select team. Cade Cunningham played the Luka role for them. Come on, man. Me and Chris see it from a mile away. This kid's going to be an all-star next year.
Baby Dwight Howard, Jalen Duren with the haircut, punishing Jaren Jackson, punishing him. All I'm saying is give the Pistons some time and a real small forward. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see. Like, I know Luka's obviously playing World Cup. I don't think Jokic is playing World Cup. He said he just wants to chill this offseason. I don't think Giannis is. So, like, this, as sorry as this World Cup team looks,
They can win.
they can still win. They can still win it all. Like, the last time we trotted out a World Cup,
they will. They will.
Yeah, I think the team that'll give them some trouble is Canada. Canada will give them some trouble, but Canada's just smaller. Like their better players are on the shorter side, so I think they'll give them a little bit of trouble just because I think Shea and Jamal Murray that's tough. That's a tough backcourt. I mean, the USA has a great backcourt too, but
they was talking crazy. They said Shea might be the best player in the World Cup. I'm like,
yes or no? Could Tony Parker suit up with Vic?
Yep.
I think yes.
I mean, I saw him play for the Hornets, unfortunately, with my eyes, and I mean, he didn't look great, but he didn't look the worst. I've seen worse.
Tony Parker would do wonders to Wemby's game.
Nando DeColo, that's what he'd be.
No, he'd be like JJ Barea.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man,
that dude's
JJ Barea is getting added to Dallas's coaching staff, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. I see him on the sideline sometimes. He was there before too, like player development. But
he's like, that's my friend on the sideline right there, JJ Barea.
Yep, JJ.
Yeah, so dude. I mean, really, all we just wanted to get through was that Team USA still winning FIBA. Gilbert Arenas is dumb, and
this is Anthony Edwards' year, by the way, y'all.
And Austin Reeves' All-Star leap is inevitable. I'm afraid.
And I feared that Trae Young was snubbed. Who I would take off, I don't know. But I
don't think, me personally, I don't think they invited any of the top. I don't think they invited like Tatum or Joel Embiid, who has USA citizenship. But yeah. Anything else to say before we get on out of here?
Free Trae Young.
It's a phenomenal episode. We have balled out. We've cooked up like Zeke, future Cowboy again. Or Patriot, whatever you want to go like that.
Or Raven.
Cooked up. We've ate. He's probably not gonna be a Raven because y'all got J.K. Dobbins, another great Ohio State running back. But nonetheless, I will do the outro today from.
Whoa! Time out. I wasn't done.
Oh,
I was gonna say next week we'll be doing the NFC. So that's my episode. We'll talk about them Eagles.
He's gonna fangirl. He's gonna wear Jalen Hurts jersey. He's gonna say, "Oh my God,
I am."
I am too.
I am. Now, Danny, don't you ever try to steal my thunder again from AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.